You know what? Screw it. Okay. Let's just get into the show. The show, our third episode.
Welcome to our show.
This is the third episode of the Toon Goons.
Yeah.
I'm Nikki.
I'm Tooch.
I'm Nina.
And I'm Tooch.
Yeah. And this episode, we're going to be talking about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, a show. This is the show why we decided to make this podcast.
Yes.
Because it's just so exciting to talk about.
Hello.
And we're worried that we're going to end up running long this episode, so we're going to try to knock out our preliminary stuff really quick. First of all, if you look on our SoundCloud or our Tumblr or anywhere else, we've got a new logo drawn by
Crispy Kitten.
Crispy Kitten, a colleague of Nina's.
Yep.
It's freaking incredible.
I love it.
So great. I love
My
it.
favorite part about it is that Tooch looks like he's in the middle of just screaming the word Goons.
Goons!
So we've linked to her already on our Tumblr. We'll link to her again in the show notes, which I'll try to remember to actually do this time.
Yeah, we kind of
Professional dumbass.
Way to go.
And we should have an actual theme song ready by next week. We're gonna cram through some news real quick.
Okay. First item of news. Arbitrarily first item. Cartoon Hangover announced their new shows for this summer. So we got... First show already came out, actually. It was called Dead End. It premiered on the 26th. I saw it. It was alright. I like the art style. It was cute. Mm-hmm. The actual show itself was kind of a bit too internet hip, kind of pandering for me.
Yeah, I watched it too. I honestly didn't so much mind, because it was sparing, which is why I noticed it so much whenever it popped up, but my biggest critique was, honestly, the animation was kind of lacking. It was a little... jumpy.
Yeah, it could have been more polished.
Yeah.
But I like Pugsley. He's cute.
Yeah.
And I liked his weird dog porn. That was with the dog nipples.
Yeah.
Next, coming up in the 17th of July, there's a show called Chainsaw Richard. The description says, "Do you want to see a burly man with chainsaws? Well, so do tiny ghosts and Ramses." Brought to you by the creator of Feel Afraid, Christopher Rainman.
Oh, shit! That guy's really funny.
I really liked it. I saw the clip on their preview.
I haven't seen any of this stuff yet, but yeah, that's a webcomics guy I really like.
Which webcomic is it?
Feel Afraid.
Feel Afraid. I don't know that one.
I love the art style. It's really cute. I don't really know what it's going to be about, but it looks cute.
The guy's humor is pretty dark. It's pretty much, one of those guys who, copes with depression through humor, which is to say 98% of all webcomic artists.
Okay, I'm on feelafraidcomic.com now, and it's the most recent comic is a stick figure comic of a man riding a horse, and then the horse farts and his head falls off.
Yeah, I think it's that kind of thing.
I love how I just described it and it made Nikki laugh.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's one of those comics where, I guess like Gun Show, where if that's how he's feeling that day, that's what you're gonna get.
Gun Show, or like 3-word phrase, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. The art, the actual animation looks a lot smoother on this one. It's just like we see this kid like running, and there's like skeletas and stuff, and I don't know. It looks fun. Then we have Manly. Manly is sent on a mission to save her brother and gain the approval of her father, who happens to be the Emperor God of the Universe and kind of a jerk.
Created by Justin Moynihan. Are those are Adventure Time guys, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
More Adventure Time alum.
The art style, it's got kind of like a neon color palette sort of thing. It's a little crazier. It's a little more...
As long as it's not Problem Solvers. That show literally hurt to look at.
No, this doesn't look like it's going to hurt to look at. It just has like a much brighter color. Reminds me of like those interstitials of like the old school interstitials of like Adult Swim, or like what was it called? ADHD kind of.
But not as obnoxious.
But it doesn't look as obnoxious. Manly looks pretty cool. The fact that Manly's a girl is kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I don't know. It looks fun. Then we've got Space Bear and the Astro Magus Perplexulo face off in space. at a Gasteroid, created by Andy Helms, animated by Dave Ferguson. This looks a little bit more flashy, but it kind of looks like a children's book. The art.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I don't know. I mean, it's about a bear. I like bears.
Bears are great.
Bears are great. We'll see how bears are. That's going to come out August 14th. Manly's coming out July 31st. And then there's another show called Blackford Manor, which doesn't have a release date yet. But, and in fact, I don't think it's actually even in this preview. But the description says, Josette is a sweet and curious young maid at gloomy Blackford Manor whose master has a very disturbing secret. Starring Martin Rayner, Ashley Birch, and Billy West. Created by Ji Wook Kim.
Oh, cool.
So that sounds cool.
Billy West.
Yeah, that sounds great. So I'm excited.
Yeah, Cartoon Hangover has not a perfect track record, but they've produced some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I think the biggest question is where the hell is Rocket Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like they keep cranking out pilots.
Yeah.
But they don't make anything of it.
Yeah, I wonder what their process is of like what makes a pilot good enough for them to actually pursue it or not.
I mean, I think. Well, I mean, just from the looks of all the pilots, and I think maybe they might not have as big of a hand in production. Otherwise, I feel like Dead End would have looked better, because everything they do is so vastly different, and I thought at first that it might just be because they were looking for diversity, and maybe they are, but also I think it might also be because maybe their creators do the bulk of the work, because I think, didn't Natasha Liggery say she made Bean Puppycat, like, on her own?
She had to kickstart it.
Well, yeah, but I mean the pilot. Like, she animated that. Like, that was all her,
Yeah,
more
I
or
mean,
less.
I
Yeah,
think
probably.
they just provide them with distribution and like a little bit of support and some connections if they need it, but I don't think it's like a full blown
Production company.
Yeah, except for
Yeah.
probably
Or
Bravest Warriors.
Yeah, I think maybe that's their thing. I think maybe, like, they're still trying to build themselves, but right now they only have the capacity for, like, 1 or 2 shows.
Yeah.
Which I think if that's the case, then I think maybe it's a bad call to, like, give, like, 10 fucking shows pilots.
I don't know. I mean, they also released a video that announced like the expanding of their network. Like they showed like I don't really know the benefit of joining their network. I'm not really sure what that's all about. But
Cartoon Hangover.
okay, here, how about this piece of news? Powerpuff Girls is gonna return in 2016. Don't know much about it other than it's gonna keep the same style of that special, the Dance Pants Revolution episode.
Which was a special that looked good, and that was kind of it.
Yeah. It looks like the same people who were responsible for that special are gonna be working on this show, which isn't very exciting for me because I wasn't a big fan of the writing on that special.
Yeah.
Or it was really the pacing was the biggest problem for me, but I mean, who knows at
I don't
this
know.
point.
I'm just not even gonna have an opinion on it until it comes out.
Yeah, it's something that,
Otherwise,
before I could have gotten really excited about, but at this point,
I mean, if Craig McCracken is not working on it, then neither is anybody else who probably worked on the original Powerpuff Girls. So,
it.
What's that guy who you wish would just write it?
Troy Little, the guy who's working on the IDW comics.
For Powerpuff Girls?
He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how are those?
They're awesome. I love them. I have every single issue.
Sweet.
Yeah, I haven't cracked them open yet, but they look pretty good.
They're very true to the characters and the feel of the stories, and he actually draws them too.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, but who knows?
Yeah.
And then we've got some sadder news. In the past 2 weeks since our last episode, we've lost 2 people who have been very influential in cartoons. The most recent of which is Steve Vikstein, who wrote most episodes of Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
And was the voice of Oscar Kokoschka, the consistently hilarious Oscar Kokoschka.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Apparently his first, according to the creator, Craig Bartlett, his first solo script was Arnold's Hat. And Craig Bartlett says, it's one of my favorites, funny and sad and cool, and we get our first glimpse into the mystery of his missing parents. Today Arnold is hatless as I remember Steve. He also wrote Stoop Kid and like a bunch of other episodes.
Oh, jeez.
Like
almost all of them, right?
Yeah,
he at least co-wrote almost all of them.
He and Craig Bartlett had their hand in apparently all the episodes. He also wrote the film adaptation for Hey Arnold. He also wrote episodes for Rugrats, Recess, Duckman, and The Simpsons. His last work was an episode of The Simpsons called Homer Scissorhands.
From season 22?
Yeah. I don't know if it was any good, but, that was his last thing. He was only 54, so it's really kind of sad.
And then more germane, like, kind of tragically relevant to what we're talking about today is that a little over a week ago we lost Casey Kasem, who, radio personality known as the Voice of America, voice actor, most famous for being the original voice of Shaggy Rogers for decades.
Yeah,
and also he was also the voice of the Shaggy clone on Josie and the Pussycats. That dude.
Yeah, he did Shaggy for pretty much any Hanna-Barbera original stuff.
He was Robin in, was it Super Friends or was there a Batman and Robin?
Super Friends.
All right.
He did voices for Transformers, but he actually quit that because he protested the show when it got too racist. Which is kind of cool.
What?
Yeah. He was like,
Wait,
I can't do the show anymore. It's getting too offensive. I don't like it.
Was it Jazz?
No, it was like some of the weird human characters. Movie Bob showed a little clip of like these weird Arabic guys who were like the police and like they were on camels and it was really just not okay.
Oh, well then.
Yeah.
But Casey,
maybe giving the franchise to Michael Bay makes more sense now.
Yeah.
But he was a disc jockey. He was most notable for American Top 40.
Yeah.
He
did all
kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
One of the radio stations I tune into, like on Saturday mornings, if I wake up early enough, if I have work, what they do is they play old episodes. Like they'll like say it was like fucking, I don't know, June 29th, they'll play like June 29th, 1970 something, like that episode of the Top 40, and it'll be Casey Kasem, like just straight up doing what he did, and it's super cool to listen to.
Yeah.
Like he was really big on animals, and like environmental causes, environmental rights.
Yeah. There was a couple episodes of Scooby-Doo stuff, a couple continuities where Shaggy was a vegetarian.
Yeah, I'm reading that now. He quit the Scooby-Doo show in 1995 when asked to voice Shaggy in a Burger King commercial, returning in 2002 after negotiating to have Shaggy become a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool. And also, like, when asked about, like, all the stoner comparisons drawn to Scooby-Doo, I remember him saying, like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What?
Yeah.
They're just teenagers.
Yeah, when he first was cast as Shaggy, he wanted to play Fred, actually, and Welker wanted to play Shaggy, and he was just
wow, that would have been weird.
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know how to play a hippie. I've never played a hippie before. Like, he was kind of apprehensive about the role, apparently.
Because the interesting, I'm sorry, just a side note. The interesting thing about Welker is he's literally never not voiced Fred in literally everything.
Oh,
there was a Scooby-Doo joke on Family Guy, and they got Welker to be Fred. Like, we're dealing with one sick son of a bitch. Like, they got Welker to do that. I love that. And then now he voices Scooby.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to the cast of Mystery Incorporated once we get into that proper. So yeah, we'd like to dedicate this episode to those two great men, and hopefully we don't have to lose anybody else in between now and our next episode.
Yeah.
Because weren't we talking about Casey Kasem on or off the show, like the last time we recorded?
Yeah, we actually did.
Yeah, because he's been in a really bad shape for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when he died, I remembered that we were talking about it, like, just that recently, and I was like, fuck.
The only other thing that sort of happened while we were gone was Cora.
Yeah, Cora pulled a Beyonce, and almost a Beyonce. Like, there was an announcement, and then, like, the week later it came out, and I had no idea why, but you explained this to me. Is that
there was major leaks. Apparently, like, entire episodes were leaked, but they were, like, really hard to understand. Like, they might have been in a different language, or I don't know. It was kind of weird.
I think that's what it was. Some language, like, because it was in another country. Yeah. I didn't read the whole story, but some country somewhere was supposed to air, like, some episodes of Season 2, but they accidentally aired the first 3 episodes of Season 3.
No.
Yeah. So, and I'm, the guys whose name I can't pronounce, the creators, Mike and
Dante.
Whatever.
Wait, Dante Bosco didn't create
Dante.
Dante?
One of them.
I thought his name was I thought his
Brian.
name was Brian.
Yeah, I thought it was Mike and Brian.
Yeah, it's Mike and Brian.
That's what I
I think his name's like Brian Dante D Best something. I don't know. Their names are weird. I apologize, but yeah, Korra came 3 episodes, which was crazy.
Yes.
I'm enjoying it so far.
It's Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian
Okay.
Konietzko.
Okay.
So I wasn't completely wrong.
All right. We might talk about Korra later on.
Yeah.
Korra is such a kind of a tricky subject.
I haven't watched it yet because I barely watched any of season 2. You really liked it, right?
Season 2?
No, of season 3 so far.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
Yes.
season 3 a lot. I was having a lot of fun. I love being in that world. I'm so glad to be back in it. I missed it.
Yeah, I love it. Especially now that they're branching out and like going more places, and we get to see more.
You get to see what's happened after those 7
Yes.
years.
Everything I've said indicates to me that this season is a lot more promising than the last one. Which
I
is
hope
good.
so.
Well,
Who knows?
I've loved the show from start to finish. I mean, obviously it's not perfect and it's not as good as Last Airbender, but I feel like a lot of people have been nitpicking it way too harshly.
No,
but
I mean, I really do like Korra. I like Korra. I do.
Yeah.
But there are some serious issues I had with it that I didn't want to. It's not like I don't want to not like the show. Like I want to have fun and love the show. But sometimes some things that it does makes me upset, and it kind of takes away from my enjoyment. But this season doesn't have any of that.
yeah, but just about because what I was saying is like even people who don't like Korra have always said that like season 1 and I think maybe even 2, like they say like it starts off really good, but then as it goes on I don't like it anymore. So I don't know, I don't know. I'll probably love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like having only seen in its completion season 1, I'm just going to be brief about this because we do need to move on to Scooby-Doo. Like the first half of that season was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good.
I loved
Really
it.
promising, really exciting. And I never felt like it got bad. It got a little chunky at parts. It could have used another episode or 2 to properly breathe.
But we all know why it can't. We don't have to
Yeah.
rehash that.
Season 2, I just wasn't as interested in it at the time, so and because of my weird schedule, I have a harder time watching TV, so I just fell off from it.
Yeah.
But we'll probably talk about Korra in more detail once there's more of Book 3 out.
Yeah, definitely.